So, about 3 years ago, we did a video on the rise and fall of Jordan brand. And at that time, there was a list of the top 10 most Instagram sneakers, and Jordans came in at a surprisingly low number 18. You see, this was the year 2018, and Yeezys were at a peak. All the hype swarmed around Kanye West's Adidas silhouette, and Jordan brand had slid to the number 3 spot of the big 3 brands, which includes Nike and Adidas. And even though in that video we admitted that Jordan brand is a huge name, but at that time it looked pretty bad for him, and it seemed like it was not going to get any better anytime soon. But as we sit here in 2021, we know in fact it did get better. But how exactly? In today's video, we'll discuss the rise and fall and rise again of Jordan brand. I'm Nate the Great from TakeFlight214.com. And before we get started, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. It helps us grow and get our videos out to a larger audience. And also, if you hit the notification bell, you'll be updated every time we drop another video just like this one. So with that being said, let's jump right in. Michael Jeffrey Jordan was born in Brooklyn, New York on February 17th, 1963. Though while born on the East Coast, Jordan was raised in the South, having moved to North Carolina with his family in 1968. The future icon would attend high school and university in the Tar Heel State. Jordan was not a natural talent from childhood, though. At 15, he famously failed to make his high school's varsity basketball team. But MJ shook himself off from this, worked out consistently, and went on to star for his JV team that year instead. With his 40-point game for JV drawing unexpected crowds, his progression to the varsity team next year was inevitable. Jordan immediately became the best player on his varsity team after joining in '76, as his sudden physical development interlinked with his already present work ethic. Jordan was an all-around basketball player by the time he left high school, and he also made time to play baseball and football. At UNC, he would further his stardom, where he would win Rookie of the Year his first year, score game-winning shots multiple times, and earn Player of the Year by his third year there. Jordan left the University of North Carolina as a junior in 1984 to declare for the NBA draft, where he was selected by the Chicago Bulls 3rd overall in the first round. Nike wasn't the dominant brand in the decade Michael Jordan was drafted. In fact, in basketball, and sneakers in general for that matter, brands such as Adidas and Converse were way more commonplace. Adidas was the market leader in revenue, while stars such as Larry Bird and Magic Johnson wore Converse on the court. Nike had built its reputation as a brand for track athletes, so signing then college basketball star Jordan on a marketing deal was done with the goal of expanding their reach in basketball now. And as we explained in the first video, Nike wasn't Jordan's first choice. He even almost signed with some long-defunct brand named Van Grack. But Nike was desperate at the time, so they dug deep into their pockets to sway the burgeoning superstar. They would eventually sign him to a $500,000 per year, 5-year deal. It was triple the value of any other NBA sneaker deal at the time, and was further enhanced with royalties from each sneaker sales. The name Air Jordan actually originated from Jordan's agent, David Falk, who had presented a list of names prior to the deal's completion. Nike's then creative director, Peter Moore, designed the iconic ball and wings logo, finding inspiration from a child wearing wings on Moore's flight home. He also picked up the iconic red, black, and white color for the sneakers. And 3 colors on a single pair of sneakers was unprecedented at that time. Ooh! Common knowledge is that these shoes were originally banned by the NBA. And Nike would like the public to believe this, I'm sure, because they haven't tried too hard to dissuade it. I mean, hell, I even thought it myself, and we stated it in the first video. But in reality, the banned shoes were black and red Nike Air Ships. The Air Ships were Nike's top-of-the-line basketball shoe in the early 80s and were sold for $75 a pair. Jordan wearing that colorway broke the now abolished uniformity of uniform rule, which required that all players wear sneakers that not only matched the team uniform, but also the sneakers of their fellow teammates. And this was on October 18, 1984, in a preseason game against the New York Knicks at Madison Square Garden. The banned Air Ships were customized with, quote, Air Jordan behind the sneakers, but MJ didn't wear an authentic pair of Nike Air Jordans until November 17, 1984, in a regular season game versus the Philadelphia 76ers. And in that year, Jordans were actually made to the letter of the law, with white and red, the major colors, accompanied by a black swoosh and dark laces, which apparently, in fact, didn't break any rules at all. So hey, there you go. This colorway would match the Bulls' all-white kit with red stripes and would later be known as the Chicago colorway. But as previously mentioned, Nike used the falsehood of the banned Jordans to their advantage. The marketing campaign for the Air Jordans revolved around the supposed ban. Commercials framed the shoe as, quote, too hot for the NBA to handle, with the red and black Air Jordans being hidden behind a censor bar on television. Over the years, MJ will become arguably the best player in the history of the NBA. And with said fame, the hype of the sneakers exploded. Every year he played, a new design was released, and usually in the classic red, black, and white, or white and baby blue colorways, matching his Chicago and UNC uniforms. The brand would periodically drop other colors, but mainly the OGs were for the most part. Jordan would retire for good in 2003 after a comeback for the Wizards in 2001. But years after his playing days were over, retro Jordans remained a favorite in the sneaker community. Every year they would re-release retro OG colorways, and every year they would sell out instantly. However, with each passing year, Jordan brand would lose a small piece of market cap with increasingly younger sneakerheads. It would all culminate in 2018 when we dropped our first video, where Jordan brand was overtaken in the market by Adidas' Yeezy brand. Which brings us to our original question. What happened between now and then? The problem for Jordan brand in 2018 was they were making most of their money off retro OG re-releases. As we stated then, that works for people who are old enough to have actually seen Jordan play. We all remember each and every shoe he played in, and we have nostalgic feelings for the re-releases. But for a kid born anytime after 2001 or so, they don't have the same connection. They're not likely to be going back and watching old grainy game footage from the 90s when they can watch HD games now. And even if they did, it's not likely to resonate with them in the same way. For them, one pair of red and black shoes is the same as another. And there's not a lot of reason to have a closet full of shoes the same colorway. I inaccurately stated in the 2018 video that Jordan brand didn't seem to have many ideas up their sleeve. But how silly could I have been? For they were already working on the next move. In that video, we actually pointed out how they had partnered with Virgil Abloh for the Off-White Jordan 1 release. But little could I have known then that that was their big idea. The Off-White Jordan 1 was huge for them, driving insane levels of hype back into the brand and reviving their relevancy with Zoomers. But the Off-White collab was just the jab. The two would actually come the following year in 2019 with the release of the Cactus Jack Air Jordan 1. These two silhouettes are probably the most popular Air Jordan sneakers since the Air Jordan 1 originally debuted all those years ago. The Travis J's resell for as much as $2,000 a day, and the Off-White ones for up to $5,000. The release of these shoes would mark a mea culpa of sorts by Jordan brand's parent company, Nike. You see, Nike, though not the first sneaker company to do a rap collab, were on the cutting edge of the resurgence of the trend as we know it today. Ironically enough, it was actually Adidas who gets the nod for first to work with rap groups, with the deal that they did with Run DMC decades ago. We did a video on that also that you should check out as well after you finish watching this one. Links up top. But as we said, it was actually Nike that would bring the trend back in the way that we know it today, with their work with Kanye West and his original Air Yeezys. At the time, the Nike Air Yeezys was the biggest thing in the sneaker industry, proving that not only athlete endorsements were money, but entertainers could be viable too. However, back then, Nike wasn't quite fully ready to play ball with the concept yet. Kanye wanted free reign to create what he wanted with the brand, and Nike didn't want to give up that kind of creative control. Long story short, Ye wound up burning off and landing at Adidas, as many legs at Nike were injured from kicking themselves in their own asses for blowing such an opportunity. Apparently, Someone in Oregon vowed to make good on the mistake though, and Nike sought out to find another celeb that they could latch on to. Luck would actually strike twice for them when they landed a deal with the then up-and-coming Travis Scott. The iconic Jordan 1 was not the first silhouette to debut in the Cactus Jack collab, as there were a few more that preceded it. But when it dropped the year after the off-white ones did, it struck gold for Nike. It also meant big things for Jordan brand, mainly because Jordans, though playing out as far as the OG colorways go, are still very iconic. So when Nike began working with artist collabs, I'm sure they gave these guys the option to choose which silhouette they wanted to work with. And since Jordans are a staple in streetwear culture, it's really no surprise that they were chosen by these guys. And Nike was like, sure, whatever you like. They had made the mistake once of letting the Golden Goose walk, and they had no intentions of doing it this time. So, knowing that they would still make money, being the parent company of Jordan brand and all, they were all in for it. The play would seemingly turn out to be a win for all those involved. Off-White would have extreme success with the collaborations, as they are still doing work with both Jordan brand and Nike today, and have recently released the Dear Summer 50 collection of dunks. And Travis's Air Jordan 1 design is still being remixed in the form of the recently released collab with him and Fragment Design, to insane hype, I might add. While Nike has taken the whole entertainer/artist collab thing and ran around the world with it, quite literally. They've done deals with Cause, Comme des Garçons, Para, Pata, J Balvin, Drake, and most recently, even Billie Eilish. They've taken a good thing and used it so much that some are now starting to ask if the whole sneaker collab thing is now running its course. Jordan brand has definitely reaped some of the fruits of the rewards also, as the work has helped bring tons of buzz back to the Jumpman brand, considering that many of the collabs included OG Jordan silhouettes with cool new modern colorways and design aesthetics. What this proves is that it wasn't so much the old designs or the uncomfortable feel of shoes originally designed in the 80s that was turning off the younger crowd. All Jordans needed was a design boost basically, and some relevancy infusion from contemporary personalities. The new and bold colorways released in many of the collabs has spawned a whole new desire in people who couldn't be nostalgic about a guy that they never watched play. Now, when these kids think of Jordans, they likely related to Travis or Virgil or any of their other favorite celebs that have worked with the brand, more so than MJ himself, which is in a way what they were originally lacking back in 2018 when we made our first video. Problem is it just a temporary fix? They never really branched out into other sneaker designs or sports, which we suggested in the other video, but based off where they are now, I don't think that really matters. Not only have they built an entirely new fan base that will have nostalgia for years to come, they also see that there is money to be made in hiring young and current designers to work with. Even when the collab craze finally dies, which it will, considering all things past, quote the Buddha, Nike and Jordan brand have now found a blueprint for the future. Just keep your creative team fresh and you could still be selling Jordan 1 silhouettes 100 years from now. Or at least that's what they definitely hope. So, what do you think? Hit us up in the comment section and let us know how you feel about Jordan. Do you like what they're doing now with all the collabs, or do you still prefer the OGs? Also, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. As we said before, it really helps us get our reach out there, and by you subscribing to the channel and then hitting the notification bell, you'll be updated every time we drop a video just like this one. So with that being said, I'm Nate the Great from TakeFlight214.com signing out. Until next time, peace.